control everything. What is it? It's, more than a mentality. It's a way of life. I came into the mentality of owning to control everything before I came into the knowledge of private trust and contract law. And let me explain. I took a brand international over the course of, it took about 7 to 9 years, depending on how you look at it. And, I have my own business, actually multiple businesses, in conjunction with the same business, with commercial claims with regards to intellectual property that was involved in the business. And I went to, business school, and there's been, a specific situation that I've shared here on the network, whereas I had done my taxes, this was a number of years ago, though. I had filed a 1040, and I had a return coming, and I had a federal return and a state return, and they tell you what the return is, and then they deposit in your account, and I think maybe, sent you a check or whatever you asked for. So with that being said, this was a while ago, so money wasn't the best, and I had gotten some parking tickets in the city that I live in, which is obviously within the state that I live in, and the state portion was recaptured. So, they took my money. And this is a while back. So what I did was, and one of the things with me is I may get mad because I'm just like, I get upset too. I get upset sometimes more than I want to. But ultimately, I understand that the reason why I'm upset is because I'm in a situation that I don't appreciate and I don't want to be in. So I'll allow myself to be upset as long as I use that emotion to create circumstances and procedures in my mind and within my life to where I'm never in that position again. So while I'm upset, I'm thinking about how I'm never going to be in this position again. I realized that I had companies, and I knew a friend of mine that I went to school with and I grew up with, I met him in high school. His family owned a construction company. And one time we were kicking it, I was driving around or something, whatever. We had got pulled over. And I remember the police officer walked up to his car, and he was like, "Is this your truck?" And my friend said, "No, it's not my truck. It's a company vehicle. It's a company truck." And I never forgot that. You know what I'm saying? My man, it was his truck. He got beats in it. He got like 4 jail audio cans in it, 5 amps, something like that, 4 for each subwoofer and 1 for the, the speakers and the 6x9s and the ones in the front of his whip and stuff. I mean, he got a system in there. He smoked a tree in there. It's, it doesn't say a company name on it or nothing. He had rims on it. That was his truck. But I remember him saying that it was titled in his company's name. So I remembered that, and I was like, well, look, I'm going to go title this vehicle in the company name. Now, mind you, you can't have a loan on it or anything because usually that accelerates the loan, which basically means they want all of it right now within 10 days. Otherwise, you're done. And I dealt with that, too. That's another story. But I went down to the Department of Motor Vehicles in my state, and I filled out the title. You know what I'm saying? So I filled out the title. The owner, the one that bought it, the buyer was the company, the corporation. I put the corporation name because I already had a corporation. I was already doing business. You know what I'm saying? So I put the corporation name there, and I put the corporation address because I did have an actual, I had a studio. So, that was an actual business where we, created some of the art in that studio. And so I put that address and stuff on there, and I went to the DMV and I changed the title. And they were like, "How much did you sell it for? How much was the buying or something?" Try to give me a problem. And I was like, it was $500. I don't remember. It wasn't the nicest car, but it wasn't, the cheapest car either at the time. So I remember I had to pay. There were some taxes on it, and I paid it with the company card. There were some taxes on it, sales tax or whatever. But they transferred the title of the vehicle, the car, you know what I'm saying, in the name of the corporation. And then they sent the title, actual title, to the address of the studio, and it was titled in the name of the corporation. And that's why I did it. I'm telling you, I'm not playing. It's not like I went to school and I learned this or had a mentor who told me. I was in that situation. They took my money. That money was already spent. You know what? My people know what I'm talking about. That money was spent before I even had it. You know what I'm saying? So they took my money, and I was never going to be in that position again. So once I got the title, it's one of those situations, and you'll enter this situation when you start doing things that you have studied, but you actually haven't done, is this. You know that what you're doing makes sense and it works, but you don't know if you're going to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, I park in the city, in my city, it's my city. I don't feel like I need to pay to park anywhere. It's ridiculous. But, so, I'm getting tickets, and it's, they get tickets, and I get a ticket off the windshield, and I just throw it in the car. And just what I normally did is not pay it. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it was a few months later, after I got the title, I got something in the mail from the state. I think, Department of Motor Vehicles, or I don't remember. It was a court. They wanted some money, and it was a threatening letter. And I've looked for this thing, and I can't find it. I know it's around here somewhere. Bottom line is, they sent a threatening letter, and on the letter it said the name of the company, and then it said failure to pay parking tickets, and then it said the price of the parking ticket, and then it said the fee for not paying it, and then a late fee, and then it said what it was going to, like 3 different choices, not choices, but options of what they reserved of what they were going to do. And the first option was revoke your driver's license, and this was addressed to the corporation. I thought, off the bat when I read this, I was like, wow. The second one was put a warrant out for your arrest, and it was addressed to the corporation. You know what I'm saying? So that was wild. And the third one was like, tow the car, and I was like, oh, well, I don't want that. Needless to say, I didn't pay it. Chose not to pay it. I elected as a corporate officer that, whatever. So I didn't pay that. But look, the bottom line here is nothing happens. That corporation, it's still up and running, but it's been running for over 13 years. That specific one. Never been sued, never been served, never been subpoenaed over those stupid parking tickets. And that whole story was to illustrate, the topic of, this episode, which is own nothing, control everything. Now, I'm going to tell you, I did get pulled over in that car a lot of times. I drive fast. I like to. Why not? If you can go 30 miles an hour and you can go 55 miles an hour, I'm going to choose to go 55 miles an hour. That's just me. So I remember, there's been times I've been pulled over. It's your car, not a company. It's not. It's a company car. And I feel like there's been instances where, because there was no insurance on it. There were instances where they wanted to tow it, but I feel like they didn't know who the owner of the company was, and who the owner knew, and they didn't want to deal with it. And they can't do nothing to me by messing with this car. And that's own nothing, control everything. I'm 100% in control of the car. I'm putting gas in, I'm driving it. I decide if the brakes get fixed. I decide when it gets sold. I decide if I crash it. I put my seatbelt on it, just run into something. It's 100% on me. And that's the control side of it. I don't like that air. The own nothing side of it is, if you got a problem with me, whether public or private, this isn't mine. You're not going to get it from me. You're not going to be able to come and claim it from me. You're not going to attach anything to this, because I'm in control of this, but I don't own it. And that's the basic philosophy. I know there's a lot of people out here, so-called, learned people who really push this and espouse upon this topic from the standpoint of privacy, private trust. Yes. that is own nothing, control everything as well. But, on the corporate side, on the public side, it's the same thing. As long as you organize and evidence the corporation appropriately, you can do this from your home. Honestly. And I feel like, here's what I feel like. I feel like the people who know what this is, this information and stuff, they want to disconnect you. They want to tell you to kill the social. They want to tell you to, go straight private. They want to tell you to stop doing business in the public and go straight private. Don't do anything corporations and don't use Federal Reserve notes and redeeming lawful money only and so on and so forth. To me, that's limitation, man. You're limiting my experience, man. You're limiting the things that I can do. Why? If I can have limited liability, own nothing, control everything in the public, and the same thing in the private, why not? If I understand what I'm doing, if I've studied, if I've done my due diligence, if I went to highfrequencynetwork.com with the PDF section, first downloaded everything, because I don't trust nobody, but then secondly, read all that, and I have an understanding of what I'm doing. I shepherdize cases, you know what I'm saying? I did ulterior research, alternate research, looked at different facts, and I know what I'm doing. Why are you trying to limit what I'm doing? Why are you telling me what to do? Why are you trying to tell me own nothing, control everything is only with regards to private entities? Is that because, how you handled it, it didn't work for you? Maybe because you didn't know what you were doing? Do you have any idea what I've done? Why are you over here telling me what own nothing, control everything is? So yes, it's very, very important to get your private affairs in order. It's very important for you to get your private estate in order. Get your, business trust, asset protection trust, family trust, charitable trust. Why not? And why not more than one business trust? Why I only have one? And why it got to be that name? Why can't it be any name? When it comes to own nothing, control everything, it's not just private, it's public. And what do? As trustees and fiduciaries of our family estate, we are required to grow the estate and grow the wealth and the assets of the estate, of the family trust. As far as I'm concerned, the public is another realm for which to do that. As long as I know what I'm doing, and as long as I know how to operate from own nothing, control everything, from limited liability, I don't see the problem. You can do what you want to do. But I feel like what I bring, to the network, I feel like what I bring, period, is a different concept and experience with regards to public entities. A certain level of success that I've achieved with public entities, with public names that have been copywritten, that I was able to perfect public claims with regards to, that I was able to stand on those public claims. I was able to come out on top. Copyright infringement, I've done that. I've had to get on YouTube and hit them up. I've had to get on different sites and hit them up and say, yo, that is copywritten property. Here's this, here's that, want that taken out or else. And it comes down. I've exercised rights. I've exercised rights with regards to an entity, with regards to a claim of an entity. This makes sense to me. This makes complete sense to me. Own nothing, control everything makes complete sense to me. So what I want to do, or was hoping to do with this episode, is to break that down from the public and the private aspect. Because it's easier for me, it was easier for me to apply this information to what I already knew and then bring it to the private. And I'm just like, yo, so I feel like it's easier to apply this stuff to what you already know and then bring it to the private. So own nothing, control everything starts now. It starts today. You have the power, regardless, to go to the Secretary of State or the Secretary of State website and open and organize a corporation, an LLC. You have the power to send in the necessary documentation to get that recognized as a corporation on the federal level. Open a bank account in the name of that corporation and start doing business. And still own nothing, control everything. Now, the caveat is that any entity that derives its creation or existence from legislation is therefore governed by that legislation. So you got to understand the statutes in your jurisdiction, which means your state, with regards to LLCs. And you got to understand how, the Internal Revenue Service deals with LLCs. It's not hard, though. It's not hard. But own nothing, control everything. That's not, some far-off place that you're going to get when you hit the rainbow and you finally go private. And people are just looking for you. Can't find you. Oh, where is he at? He ain't on Facebook. Where's she at? Can't find her on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? That's not, to me, that's not, it's right now. Liability comes with titling things in the liable name, which is, I don't want to say your name, but that's what we understand it as. Your ID, your social security number. That's where the liability lands. You can limit your liability with public entities and the administration or the execution of that entity itself, and the understanding and knowledge of that is directly applied to the administration of a trust. All my life. It's not a far away place. The further it is away for you, the more money cats make. The more times you got to keep coming back and paying for more, and paying for more, and paying for more, paying for more. And to me, that's not what it's about. What it's about is getting people on their feet so they can run around. I don't care if you run off and never come back. What I do care about is if you ran off and you didn't come back and that you're good, send a post card every once in a while. But you ain't got to come back. There's no possessiveness when it comes to me or when it comes to information. I don't own any of this stuff. I don't even own this vessel. I got to give this back when I'm out here. So own nothing, control everything is right now. I mean, you don't own your children. You don't even own your life when it comes down to it, because it can end without your consent. But there's liability that comes along with it. Definitely. Like I said, get your private estate established if you haven't already. If you need assistance, if you need help, email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. Definitely have services at your disposal to get you right, And it is an investment, but investment, we spend a lot of money, man. We spend a lot of money, sister. How much money are you investing? Paying the bill ain't investing. Paying the mortgage is kind of investing. But I don't know. I guess it depends on how you look at it. But the market can go upside down, and then there goes your investment. But investing in yourself, investing in your family, investing in your knowledge can't be taken away from you. Investing in your family trust and your business trust, that can't be taken away from you. It's not adjudicated by legislation. It doesn't come under the jurisdiction of legislation. The only time it comes under the jurisdiction of legislation is a reporting requirement with regards to the use of Federal Reserve notes in commerce. That's as simple as I can say it. You got these? What did you get? All right, what'd you do with them? Anything else? I'm sorry. I'm under a non-disclosure agreement with regards to my actions and functions in fiduciary capacity to that entity. I am at liberty to show you a copy, notarized copy, certified notarized copy of said non-disclosure agreement to confirm and substantiate such. Anything beyond that, I'm going to need some sort of delegation of authority that they don't have, or a subpoena that they won't give, to share any of that private information. And I'm sure, good, kind, clean sir, that you are not attempting to coerce me to impair the obligation of a contract. It's that simple. It's not confrontational. It's not disrespectful. It's own nothing, control everything. You are in control. I'm in control of them contracts, but I don't own them. And at any point in time that it serves me, I'm not in control. I'm sorry, sir. I have a non-disclosure agreement. I cannot. For fear of the discharge of my duties as trustee by the Board of Trustees for breaching the non-disclosure agreements, for this is my job, and I gain tremendous wealth from my point of view for acting in such capacity. I do not want to breach that contract. I don't want to lose my job, basically. Do you want to lose your job? Would you appreciate it if I was telling you something that you could possibly lose your job over? I mean, I'm going to need something to limit my liability. I need some sort of delegation of authority. I need a subpoena, because this is a private contract trust, and that's all I can tell you. That's powerful. That's very powerful. And I am not in any way being dismissive or pejorative with regards to that fact. But what I am saying is we can start where we're at. And that's understanding that we are in the public right now. We're using a public agency, entity, strawman, whatever you want to say right now. Let's start with that to make it work. Okay, this is a 1040. Okay, so what do people do with the 1040? Okay, so they get to the 1120, and they max out their fringe benefits. Fringe benefits are benefits that you receive for your work on behalf of the corporation that is excluded from your taxable income. You don't have to claim it in your taxes. That's what you do. You go from 1040 to somehow getting your 1120 pocket in your business expenses. Publication 535, which will tell you the Internal Revenue Service just lets you know what business expenses are. Publication 15B lets you know what fringe benefits are. So it's not really a guessing game. I read it until you understand it. That's what I did. So now I got the 1120. Okay, so now, that's what I'm doing. It's a legal tax avoidance on the public side. But once that business starts ramping up and it starts making more and more money, well, it's making more money than it can expense legally without raising red flags. You don't want to get audited. I mean, you're not trying to break the law. You're trying to go to jail. Who's trying to go to jail? Yeah, I mean, we down. Most of us down. Like, I'm down, but I don't want to. I'd rather not. You know what I'm saying? So once that business gets to the point where its income is more than its expenses, what you going to do with that income is tax it over 40% or something like that. That's a big no-no. That's where the trust comes in, yo. But see, a lot of people say this: you shouldn't have a trust, you got to have a certain amount of money. That's BS. I feel like we got to create reasons to be in trust. It starts with our mind and the way we demonstrate it first. So now, when I'm sitting here coming back from overseas with some money, and I'm looking at some taxes, that's a motivating factor. That definitely motivated me. I had a reason, to figure out this information. I don't think it's necessary, but it definitely gave me a reason. So if you're having trouble getting your affairs in order in the private. Own nothing, control everything in the public. That's all I'm saying. It's quite simple. There's limited liability in the public. There's limited liability in the private. And I don't think we have to choose. I think we have choices like Batman belt. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you need at a certain time, pull it out, use it. When you don't need it, put it back in the belt. When you need something else, pull that out, use that. You know what I mean? Why am I going to throw my tools on the ground and run away? Because someone said, ooh, that's, ooh, you using that? Ooh, you shouldn't be doing that. Yeah. I'm not with that. And this episode is for my people who ain't with that either. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm sorry. I know it's still relevant. When it comes to own nothing, control everything, that's where you're a signer on an account. Don't let that freak you out. That's normal. You can be a signer on an account and not own a company. Think of a secretary or a CFO. Those who sign the checks, the corporate checks or whatever. They don't own the company, but they're signing the checks and they cash, right? Exactly. Same thing with you. Just because you're a signer on the account does not is not prima facie evidence that you are the owner of the account. And if you can establish substantiation that you are not the owner of the account, corporate bylaws, operating agreement, standard operating procedure, all of this is just paperwork. That's own nothing, control. There it is. It takes some work, but it can definitely be done. There's benefits to it. There's corporate business credit. There's benefits to being a signer because you can control this entity. You are in control. There are benefits to being in control. There are benefits to being an executive. Fringe benefits, includable, excludable benefits. It's a beneficial position to be in. It's easy to take advantage of corporate credit in that position. It's easy for you to take advantage of corporate credit and help your people out around you. Like if your homie needs a laptop and you can get it off the company credit line for the cheap because, it's a business-to-business credit line. It's not a consumer, so, as a business, you get a cheaper rate. So you can just get that to your friend as a cheaper rate. Just like, just get it to me. If you win, because it's a positive report on your credit, they win because they can't go nowhere and get what you just gave them for cheaper. You know what I'm saying? Or, add $10, add $50. Don't get greedy, though. Try to make money off your homie. And if you do them right, you know what I'm saying? As far as business goes, word of mouth is the best. Now, your friends are going to be like, yo, I got this from, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? I got that from Soap. Hey, Soap. So said you get a computer. Yeah, I can hook you up, man. It's all good. Which one you want? Oh, yeah, that's only like, $300. $300? How? It better work, man. You playing with me? Nah, man, I can plug. Now I'm the plug. All because I own nothing, and I'm controlling everything. Business credit got corporate gas cards, man. You can use them anywhere. Visa cards. If the bill is in the company name, it's a corporate expense, it's a write-off. You got corporate credit cards, vendor credit up and down, from electronics to TV to couches, furniture, vacuums, janitorial. I mean, it's serious. I got this entity. I got credit accounts with, so I probably won't even use them. And let me tell you something. And they charge a lot for this, man. So pancake toast. But if you map out the square footage of your home office, you can expense that to the corporation. That portion. There's a way to do the math. The entire square footage of the property, and then all the bills is the entire square footage, and then whatever segment, if it's a third or whatever, divided by that, and that's how much the corporation can pay for legally. It's a write-off. So it's a home-based business. You control the business. It's in your home, right? Yeah, it's under my control right now. It's a home-based corporation. Oh, okay, cool. Well, it's definitely, registered correctly, and it's taxed as a corporation. So and they're not going to ask you these questions. What I'm saying is it's plain and obvious. As you're working, so there's a square footage that you use mainly for, for work. Yeah, can you give me that square footage? Because I'm going to use that to get it off. And then you hand me the square footage, now I'm reducing your taxes. And I'm like, okay, so do you have access to the bathroom or facilities? You're like, yeah. Okay, so are you responsible as a corporation, because it's used as part of the home, is any, within the contract? You have a contract with the corporation, right? Yeah, and within the contract, does it say, that, this business is responsible for certain, things with regards to toiletries because you'll be using the facilities for toilet paper and cleaning supplies and, brushes and brooms and stuff like that? Yeah. This soap? Yeah. Because, there's a kitchen. Do you ever eat there for lunch or leave the house? Or, we can kind of deduct that. Yeah. Well, you see what I'm saying? So all these things that I listed